Thank you.
I'm proud to be here. Thank you for staying here in this beautiful city, in this beautiful to this beautiful event.
Great. Hey, and it's all yours now. We might have a few questions after that, if it's okay.
That's fine.
From the audience. So
Okay.
it's all yours.
Okay. So thank you very much that I could be on an event that is called Ratkaisu, because today I want to tell you too much about you won't see too much about our beautiful cars. Hey guys, this is a moment where you have to say something like "oh," okay? So today you won't see too much pictures of our beautiful cars, right? Because I have challenges, I have problems, I have things that we maybe have to develop together. And therefore, I think there could be no better place.
Do you need this?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I think there could be no better place than being at something where I can pitch my problem and maybe I get a solution, yeah, in the end of the day. We have one of the biggest challenges in the moment. We're going completely away from combustion engines to electric cars. But on the other side, we also reinvent ourselves, getting away from a car manufacturer to a mobility provider. Oh, mobility provider. What does mobility provider means in a smart city, in a fully connected city, in a real-time world? In the first step, it's necessary that you get sure and get a view of all the movements in the city, all the transportation stuff that has to be done, transporting people, transporting goods, and also transporting businesses. So if you don't get clear and you can see maybe in real time in something, let's say in a digital twin, and if you don't know what mobility is about, you won't be able to be something like a mobility provider, otherwise it doesn't make sense. But on this way to a mobility provider, this is something we can't solve by our own. And then we have our customers, and from the customer view, they said, okay, the best user experience in mobility in the future is no experience, because it just happens in a magic way. I just want to go from A to B, everything must be organized, the car must be to the right point of time, I want to go seamless from one mobility to the next mobility. So there are different challenges we have to do. And maybe the future, it could be right, it could be false, will look like something like this, just to give you a little impression, what could mobility in the future about? It's right. This is without any kind of sound. But what you see is fully automated driving, and you have to keep this situation in your mind for the following discussion. Because when you see something like this, what does it mean? It means that you need in real time a holistic view and all informations in real time to get something like this handled. There's a big issue, and I want to talk to you how we can together maybe get this shit done. So this might be one scenario from our Future Center Europe. They said maybe the future of mobility and autonomous may look like this. And then we have other scenarios, not from us, from the Boston Consulting Group, and they shown this on the World Economic Forum. And they said, okay, what are the big things that maybe bring to mobility in the future the biggest impact? They said, ride-shared self-driving taxi revolution. It has a mass impact. The parking places has a mass impact to the accidents, and it has a mass impact to that what we called getting to zero emission, to reduce massive the carbon output we have right now. And this is one topic, and now I come to one of my first, let's say, problems. We must get aware of it, because when we reduce on the one side the carbon, and this scenario means that we are streaming, fully connected. Every person, every car, every device, as good as real time. That means that we have a massive data volume that we have to handle and that we have to organize. And when you stream Netflix for half an hour, in the moment, it's equal than driving 6.3 kilometers by car. That means, just a little example, in Germany we drive about 50 kilometers every day. And for that time, it takes about 3 hours. Right now, that means that we are driving 50 kilometers and we stream everything, like Netflix, in the same delta volume. We will have an addition 40 kilometers to the 50 kilometers carbon output. So there's one of my first questions. Maybe yesterday we got an interesting discussions with guys also from CGI. Do we have to talk about something like the logistics of data? Do we have to reduce the stream of data and the data flow in the same way that we reduce the size of the cars and that we reduce it in the same way as we reduce the mobility at all in the city? That is one point. I don't have an answer right now. And now we come to a second one. You don't have to read it. This is just to give you an idea of the complexity of the services. This is just from one brand, and these are just several services. And I will tell you what happens to me when I started booking first time from our own WeShare service. I take my WeShare card to the card reader on the car. What happens? This information goes into this network. Hey, this is Volker Römmeler. Okay, he's a customer. Has he a driving license? Yes, he has a driving license. Has he money? Yes, he has money. Where's the car? The car is located there. Is the car fine? Yes, the car is fine. A circle begins. And for me, it was not fast enough and do something a difficult mistake. I put a second time the card on the reader. What happens? The system says, Houston, the same guy, the same card, the same car. What is the first information? Which request should we follow? The first or the second one? What's going on here? We're a little bit confused. And then I've done the finally mistake. I thought the car was not okay. I go to the next car and put my car on the reader. And then our intelligence came and says, hey guys, one driver, one license, 2 cars, and 1 car. No, he's kidding us. So we better cancel this holistic thing. That happens that I don't get any kind of contact and was not able to take this car sharing. So when we talk about massive data, when we talk about a holistic ecosystem of all the mobility and all the transport, we have much, much more complexity to this, and we will solve this in best way latency. You have to be careful that you don't step in something like a circle trap. That's happened to me. So this is something that you have to organize. So we don't have to reinvent maybe the delta volume. We also have to think about the complexity and which data are really needed and which data do we really need to fulfill the request of the customer. So what are we doing to handle this complexity? We thought there's no other way, and this we discussed yesterday also with some guys from the Helsinki Port Authority. Without something like a digital landscape and without something like a digital twin, we won't be able to handle this. So, and we have together with all the stakeholders, and we are just one stakeholder of this ecosystem. In the first step, we have to connect all the stakeholders to say, okay, this is a problem of all of us. Yes, it's a problem. And then we have to talk about infrastructure. That is the reason why we care about things like 5G or fiber. We said, okay, we need to know everything and every technical details about this technology. Maybe we need this technology for make a fulfillment of our mobility mobility challenge that we have to do. And this next thing that we need, and this is very fine, and so I'm very happy that we have a CGI location now still in Brunswick. We need something like an urban incubation, because every city is different. We have in our holistic, at the Volkswagen AG, we have a group, it's called PDV Group, and there are 3,600 cities located. And they said they have never sold in their life one solution twice, because every city is extremely different. And you have to talk to every city. This is the reason why we go into close relationships with cities, because just the city, and at the end of the day, we talk about orchestrated mobility. We have to ask the city, which role can we play in this holistic mobility approach? The city will be the one who says you are allowed to drive following streets under following conditions in following times, and you have to transport people and you have to transport goods. So without it, I think it doesn't make sense to talk about being a mobility provider when you're not take place and we are not a solution in this data landscape. You can't be a mobility provider. In the worst case, you do not exist when you're not part of this digital landscape. You are not existing in a digital way. No one can book you. That nothing would work. So therefore, we tried to find some working flows that we have to do. In the first, we thought, okay, we have to care about the infrastructure. Then we have to get the cars connected. Then we have to care about getting a fleet operator, then a mobility provider, and then a content provider. And in the first step, we have to care about this infrastructure, because without this infrastructure, we won't be able to get something like a content provider. So this is the first time that we go out of our factories, that we go to cities and said, hey, cities, in this way, in this data landscape, in this future of getting a content provider, we have to go close in contact. And we have to develop together, not dominated by one of these players. We have together develop this new future. Content provider means, just to get it also clear, that you must be able to integrate every business, not just your business, every person, every startup, every founder, every part of this digital landscape. You must be able to integrate them. So it's also necessary to have this kind of urban incubation. So what we are doing, and that is equal to a lot of different players, we have to talk about this technology sequence. We have a lot of people that talk, yeah, we have made a big data science center in Munich. We did. Then we said, okay, now we are doing quantum computing, and now we have the first intelligence service center. If you're not able to handle this holistic technology sequence, nothing will happen. So why? We have to transport informations in high speed into a data platform. This is the place where might be the complexity and the circle trap could wait for us. Then we have to do the data analytics. Then we have to do the intelligence in real time, latency free, because we all say 5G is the next thing, so we could do everything latency free. Yes, of course, we can do it, but it ends on the open platform. Then there comes the intelligence. And it's necessary that the decision of the intelligence has also go back in the same time, latency free, to the point where the source is. So the next point I don't have any answer, so that's pitch my problem, is also the question, where must the intelligence be? In the end, somewhere in the cloud, somewhere overseas, I don't know. We as a human, we got sensors, we got the network, so we got the intelligence. German society says that intelligence is sitting here, not here. We have the intelligence and then react. We have no short transport ways. So that is what we call, do we have to think over where the intelligence must be? People said the intelligence must sit at the 5G. Some people said the intelligence must sit at the data sensors. So I'm not sure what is the best place for the intelligence. And in this situation, we also have to get in mind that 5G technology we care about, yeah, it's a beautiful technology. But in Germany there we have one big issue. In the moment we send with a frequency of 900 megahertz. 5G in Germany works with 3.7 to 3.9 gigahertz. And there's something physical that we can change. It's called, I don't know the right English word, it's called the field damping. The higher the frequency, the lower is the range. And when we talk about, and this in a square, it's not linear, it's in a square. So when we talk about 5G, and we made first tests with universities in Brunswick and everything is fine, a 5G has a range of about 500 meters. 500 meters. That means that we, in an area like Lower Saxony, we have 15,000 times, we need 15,000 times more infrastructure than we have right now. So we got a lot of people that said, we need 5G everywhere, all where in the landscape. And they said, oh, maybe it's not right. So this is also the topic. Which information, in which time, in which quality do we really have to send? 5G is the best technology to send the right information to the right place of time and the right quality. But you can't have 5G everywhere, and you can't have fiber everywhere. So we have to take care about this topic. Which kind of data do we really need? Therefore, we have something that we called an urban area, an urban lab, just to get things realized that we called an urban incubation. We invite everyone. So I also like to invite you, being a part of solving our problems. There we made a real lab, but it's just a real lab that we have close to our doorstep. You also have something in Helsinki. You also have that in Barcelona. You have it everywhere over the world. And that is my topic why I fall a little bit in love having a strong partner like CGI in our country, because you can solve this problem everywhere you are in the world. You don't have to solve it in a special place. We have to share this. We have to share the solutions. This is nothing that we have to solve as Volkswagen alone. We have to solve it together, as society, as city, as partner, as designer, as startup, as whatever it is. So, therefore we have a testing area, and we don't care just, yes, I'm from the Volkswagen AG, and yes, we talk about mobility. But in the same way, we care about smart constructions, smart farmings, and e-health, because they all have the same problem, and we all have the same question to the technology sequences, and we have to find solutions. So wherever we find a solution, in which case what solves this problem is warm welcome, is fine. So we got a huge engagement also in smart farming and in smart health and in smart construction. We said, okay, together we have to solve this problem. There's nothing that we can do by our own. So that is the reason why we decided to go more and more in close relationship to cities and to countries and to the terrestrial areas. And don't get me wrong, we have done in the past a lot of things, proof of concepts, initiatives, research-based technology. This is not the answer. Now comes the next decade. We have to bring all this knowledge, all this technology to the next level, to something that is more enterprise, so something that is more as scalable as we ever done it before. We have a lot of solutions right now, also as Volkswagen, but they're in silos. And you will not be able to handle these silos and this kind you design your data architecture. We have to find something common that works for all of us. So that is the reason, and that's some points that we have to care about as Volkswagen. We don't have answers right now for this problems. we can't solve it alone. So what I said, you're all invited to being a part of the questions or also of the answer of these questions. Therefore, it's not because it's some commercial break or it's a CGI. I really love it. There are my new, sometimes I say colleagues from the CGI in Brunswick sitting over there. They're newly located in the city of Brunswick. This is in the middle of our testing field. And this gives us a chance that I can pitch my problem here. And you go to your places and you have this problem in your mind. And maybe you find a solution. And then you combine this network of the CGI solutions. And then maybe we find a solution also as Volkswagen that maybe is scalable, that maybe bring us all together on the next level, that we get something true like a digital twin. Yeah. So this is something that I think that we need in the future when we talk about orchestrated mobility, when we talk about orchestrated mobility as a service, transport as a service, logistics as a service, and also business as a service. Without it, I think it won't happen. And whatever the future will bring, we don't know. Hopefully something like this. This is one answer in our concept. This is a Porsche. This is a 3-wing Porsche S91X Pegasus. Yeah. So maybe guys who like Star Trek. No, they don't have to. They should say Star Trek, right? What is the other thing? Okay. Therefore, it was prepared and said, okay, there we need this kind of a vehicle. Also, we don't know what the future will bring, so we must be prepared. And one thing for us is extremely necessary to know. It's not for you, it's just for us. We as a car manufacturer, we said, okay, selling a car and everything is done won't work. When we talk about mobility and we talk about the ultimate mobility, we have to get one thing clear. The ultimate mobility starts and ends on the couch. Yeah. This is for us, it's Volkswagen, it's not for you, but it's Volkswagen for us. It's necessary to know that it not starts the mobility when you go into the car. It starts at home, when you organize your daily trips, when you have your organizer must get matched to your mobility, so that you get always to the right point within the right quality to the right point of time. This is something that you have to solve. So we talk about more, it's a mobility challenge. No, we think it's a logistic challenge. It's nothing that we not have still solved in areas, in the logistic areas. So therefore, and also the time is over, I have to come in an end. Maybe this is a little bit different to presentations you have seen in the past by Volkswagen, but I really like to have this chance to pitch my problems, to pitch my ideas and to pitch my questions to this special people like that you are. Maybe we can find together solutions on this way. For me, it would be fine. So thank you very much for being part of your community. And I think I'm going back to my couch. So.
Thank you very much. It was inspiring. It's immensely interesting, of course, what's happening. All of us who drive a car, it's so interesting to know what happens within the next sort of 10 years. Mm-hmm. Talking about combustion engines, talking about automated driving, it's like everything is out there. But can I buy this Porsche anyway? This Pegasus is already...
Yes, of course. I'm here with the Pegasus, so you can say show you outside. No, sorry.
And hey, I have to say, you have a good football team in Wolfsburg as well. That's good. That's still Volkswagen.
We also have a good ice hockey team.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes, the Grizzlies.
Okay.
They're playing the first national German ice hockey league. Right. But I think ice hockey in Germany is not as professional.
Yeah, I follow more German football. Yeah, that's why I know Wolfsburg as a football team. But you still sponsor it.
Yes, we are still sponsoring. We have in the stadium of the football team is the first 5G stadium in the German called Bundesliga. Yeah. It's you can there augmented reality football match. So you look to the football match and you can hand your device and you get the informations of every player, the speed, the heartbeat, the time of is he a good football player or not. This is nice. I've tried it, but there were three goals.
Yeah.
I missed 2.
Oh, but hey, I'm very much into football. I have to come to Volkswagen and see it.
Yeah, sure, and we'll show you this case.
But hey, let's go. Very interesting insights into what is ahead of us, the coming decade, or the decade that started. But hey, any questions from the audience? Microphone live or via Twitter? I think it's so awe-inspiring. I mean, they are just like, wow, you know. Heli, sure. Have you got anything through Twitter? You know, it's so sci-fi. No one can ask anything because it's so technically advanced.
So if I would have the answers, I don't have to go to a place also to an event that's called Ratkaisu.
Yeah. That's good. Do you know what Ratkaisu means? It's solution.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a solution, so that's the best place.
That's good.
Yeah,
yes, Heli.
from Twitter, basically pitching your problem creates new questions and new problems and suggestions as well. So here's one from Kirsi Lehto. How about connecting smart cars and elevators? Perhaps a discussion between Kone Corporation and Volkswagen Group.
Smart cars and elevators.
Yeah, because Kone Corporation is a global leader of escalators and elevators in Finnish.
Yeah, we have to combine every type of movement. Why not elevators?
Drive your car into the elevator.
No, we are talking about how we. This is really a problem in the city of Wolfsburg. When you got a physical issue to transport you in a public bus, something typical in German, you're just allowed to transport one person. But in front of a hospital, there are more than people. So we have to ask for a second bus or for a taxi. So we have, this is what I say, every request on movement, doesn't matter which, we have to think over, we have to combine. Yeah.
That's a good reminder, yes. That's great. Volker, Römmeler, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks.